very clearly? Is there no background noise? Let us pray. What's up? Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you're here. So listen, I am about to get ready to... Oh, look, hair looks good. The color looks good. In actuality, this silk press is done. I need to wash my hair. But anyway, I'm about to get ready to go to a networking coffee link up for women in music. And in getting ready, I feel like I had so many racing thoughts about this phase of my career, job, pivot, whatever we're calling it. And so I wanted to just check in and have some honesty and commit it to memory, commit it to the archive about what I'm feeling right now. In case you couldn't already tell from the name of the video, I've been doing a lot of networking lately. When I quit my job and went into freelancing in the midst of deciding if I wanted to even stay in the field I'm in, I knew that would require me to put myself out there. I would have to be a lot more aggressive with pitching, a lot more aggressive with tapping into my network and people who would want to help me out. So these last few months, I've been doing that. Obviously, I haven't been showing that a lot on camera because I'm not going to be filming when I'm trying to connect with people. That'd be a little weird. One of the biggest networking events that happens every year here in New York City, if you are Black and a creative as a catch-all term, if you are a creative person in tech, fashion, beauty, PR, film, journalism, content creation, travel, anything like that, one of the biggest events to connect with people is called CultureCon. Is he home? Zadie's gonna come in. Hi. Go ahead, find your spot. Okay, you good? Like I was saying, one of the biggest events of the season, especially in the fall, is called CultureCon. They call it the largest creative homecoming for a reason. It's been going on for, I think, over 10 years, but these last few years, post-pandemic, it's really ramped up. It's become a big thing every year. This past year, it was, I want to say 10,000 people in attendance, 10,000 Black creatives specifically. It's a huge conference networking event. It gives festival vibes a little bit. There's a lot of activations and food and drinks and stuff like that. There's tiers. You can go GA, VIP. Anyway, I've worked with the conference a couple times. I've moderated panels in the past. I've gone as one of the members of their creative class. This past year when I went, it was the first time I didn't have an obligation to do anything for the festival. And it's the first time I went as a freelancer, going around introducing myself as a freelancer, a host, reporter, critic, producer, and kind of stepping out from a role that was connected to a major brand that had the name recognition. Like, it was me. I'm the name recognition, okay? And low-key, even though I always enjoy CultureCon, this year going in, I did feel a little bit more anxious because of the fact that I didn't have a name associated with what I do and a big brand behind my introduction. But my philosophy when going to networking events, whether they're big or small, is it's all about quality over quantity. I'm not somebody who's going to try and work the whole room or work the festival or try to get FaceTime with every single person, especially people I perceive to have the most power in the room. I'm always about energy. I'm always about thinking and finding people who would want to collaborate and want to build over the people who want to get a photo op in with. That's just always been me. So my line of thinking is if I leave a festival or I leave a conference, a networking moment with one or two connections, that's a win for me. A win is a win. So that's how I approached going into CultureCon. And I did get a few good connects off of it. I do know there was a lot of discussion, a lot of critique this year about the festival and about how big and sprawling, overwhelming it got. Some people calling it CloutCon instead of CultureCon. How they're saying they lost the plot because they got too big with sponsorships, da-da-da-da. But again, my philosophy is always quality over quantity. I didn't try and see every activation. I didn't try and see every celebrity-lined panel. I planned my day on the app and I went to see what I wanted to see. And then other than that, my goal was to just mingle and find like-minded people, people on the same wavelength, people trying to tell stories in a new way, trying to collaborate, wanting to build something together. And even though I feel like I did get a lot of good connections off of CultureCon this year, one line or sentiment that I kept running into when meeting new people was, oh, my mentor told me to do this, or my mentor got me a ticket here, somebody at my job, da 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 da, all that stuff. The level of guidance and mentorship and coaching that a lot of people were getting in the midst of their climb. And some things kind of started to hit me. So the Starting Over series is not only about starting over my career, it's about starting over in new relationships, finding new relationships, redefining relationships, also adopting new mindsets and figuring out new ways to navigate this world that I'm in. And one thing about me is I've never actually had a mentor in my 10 plus year career. There's a lot of reasons I know I haven't had a mentor. And that's not to say I haven't tried. I've been in, pilot programs for mentors when I was early in my career. I've sought out people who I thought could be a good mentor. I've even been in workplace, like mix and match mentorship programs. And low-key, some of those things, they felt like speed dating to me. A lot of those programs and those modes of connection did not feel genuine. They felt transactional. They felt like they were tokenizing. It's so funny because I think because of my perceived level of success in what I've done so far, a lot of people have reached out to me to be their mentor. And I'm like, yo, babes, it's really going to be the blind leading the blind. Thank you, I'm flattered, but I don't know if I'm fully equipped to be a mentor. I can give you maybe one piece of advice, but for real, everything I've ever done is just about working hard and moving with integrity. Bottom line. So that's really the best advice I can ever give. But it's so funny to me how many people starting out are seeking me out as a mentor when I have never really felt truly mentored myself. And I've talked about this with my friends a lot, how there is not really any channels of mentorship when you're mid-career. I don't know why. No, I do know why. It's because people are assuming, you figuring shit out at that point, or I don't know, people are just so busy at that point they don't have time for mentorship. This is starting to get rambly. I'm sorry. But anyway, as I was saying, when you entry level intern, you could have 20 mentors. There's so many programs for you. There's so many outlets for that because you young and delusional and excited and bright-eyed and dumb sometimes. There's so many avenues for you to find a mentor. When you're 5, 10, 15 years in, when you're in that mid-career level, it's like it all dries up. For me, and I know a lot of other people going through this right now too, that mid-career time is actually when you're having an awakening and you're renegotiating what you want to do for the next 10, 15 years. And maybe it's not what you've done for the last 10. So you're making a pivot, you're making a change. And there is not that much guidance when you're in that liminal space. So going to CultureCon and hearing so many mentions of people who have mentors and who are guiding them through whatever stormy season their industry is in, it kind of started making me feel like, damn, should I have gotten a mentor by now? Is not having a mentor fucking me up? Because I feel like I'm doing a lot of the right things. I'm pitching consistently. I'm putting myself out there. I've definitely decentered work as my main MO and the main thing I promote or put on social media and stuff like that. But I'm still, I'm still doing the thing. I'm being consistent. Consistency is key, right? I know that. I've been doing all that. But with me checking off all those boxes, I feel like I'm in a spot of motion without momentum. And feeling the motion, knowing I have motion, while also not feeling any momentum associated with it, it's like, is the mentor thing the missing link? That's what I've been really working through recently. But one of my homegirls, she did give me a good piece of advice. And she's someone I trust a lot with career advice and career strategy. She's someone who has kind of taken the time to mold her career into different modes over the last few years. What she said is, instead of reaching out to people within my industry, within, journalism, media, all that stuff, why don't I look to somebody who is in a different industry, tap in with them, and then just get maybe one or two gems of advice from them? Because they'll have that objectivity of not being up in the muck of where media is right now. They'll be moving in more like the marketing space or the tech space or health sciences, whatever it is. They'll have that objectivity away from media, but they will also have the hindsight of doing something that's never been done before and helping from the other side of the pivot, like having that vantage point on it. I thought that was a really good piece because I saw a quote the other day and it really stuck in my head because it provided me with clarity of what I need to be just blocking out, low-key. And it said, you can't take advice from people who've never been where you're going. It's a bar, right? Right? Little bit. You cannot take advice from people who've never been where you're going. And for me, I'm trying to do something totally different in the media space, in the storytelling space. I'm trying to break barriers. I'm trying to shake some tables in a way that hasn't been done, or at least hasn't been prioritized in a minute. And so getting advice from people in media who are either doing the same thing very formulaically, or people who are in really high positions of power and they're speaking from a perch, they're speaking from a place of comfort that it took them so long to get there that they're not trying to give it up low-key, and they don't have the perspective of where media is right now. Because listen, they started in media however many years or decades ago. It's different down here than it was back then, okay? And you are sitting in your perch, the perch you really worked hard to get, and now you're giving advice based on how the game was 20 years ago. It's not really applicable in the same way. On one hand, the idea that you can't take advice from people who've never been where you're going. That's one thing. And then the other thing is tapping in with people outside of your industry, outside of your area of expertise, outside of your beat, to get perspective and get a gem or two about what it takes to make a leap, to invest in something that's never been done before. That's how I am approaching networking right now. That's how I'm approaching figuring out the next phase, the next steps, and who I'm going to build those steps with and build that table with. So yeah, with that, let me finish getting ready and go to this event.